This is the Matilda Mindset.
Every week, we talk about life, friendship, and work.
And everything we're still trying to figure out. Let's get into it.
Now that you and I have clearly established our opinions about businesses and algorithms and social media and attention spans, let's extend this and let me ask you, do you think AI is evil?
No, I think AI is a tool, and I don't think a tool can be good or bad.
Then why do you think we have all of this fear?
I think it is because AI can do a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that no other machine or no other algorithm has been able to do before. AI is like an accumulation of all the technologies we have in the present, and it can kind of dip its feet into all the fields. I
Mm,
don't think it is like an expert at anything really. It's more of a jack of all trades sort of thing.
mm,
And yeah, that's why maybe people are scared of it because it looks like it has some intelligence when it's actually just a well written rule book that it's following.
So, do you think it'll take away our jobs then?
Well, isn't it already doing that?
Isn't it already taking over the world?
No, isn't it already? It has already erased a few jobs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The jobs are evolving around it because we have such a technology.
Mm,
And this is not a modern problem. This is
mm,
an age old problem. I think before the wheel was invented, there were more people transporting things by hand
mm,
or by horses. And after the wheel was invented, less people were required to do it because the wheel enabled us to build carts that would make it easier.
mm,
So, does that mean those people were unemployed? Yes, but they would have found a different job as a
mm,
cart driver or something.
mm.
And that's how we have evolved. And I think that's what we'll continue to do, don't you think?
I don't want to be naive when I say that AI will replace a certain set of jobs, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it'll replace more of the mundane jobs where there
Yes.
is very little thinking that is needed.
Mm.
Because what we as humans bring to the table, I believe, is the fact that we think. We think
Yes.
outside the box consistently. We are like the anomaly. It, humans are the one thing that shouldn't be predictable, you know? We we shouldn't be, it's not, I'm not against habit. Habit is
Mm.
okay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if we are extremely predictable in the way that we think, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, A plus B will always be equal to C, will be easier to use a calculator than do it via mental math, then use a calculator. What is the big deal in it? But what do you do with the C depends on the human.
Yeah.
And that a calculator can't decide. So I think the jobs that AI is taking over and will take over are the mundane jobs, the jobs that don't need a lot of mind to be put forward for. Decision
Right.
making jobs
Mm.
can't be replaced and shouldn't be replaced by a bot also.
Yeah.
That is not a black and white situation, never is. Also, let's think about it this way, I think an entire job is not replaced. Part of the
Mm.
job is. Okay. So if I am somebody who determines if, like, let's say in the telecom industry, if I am somebody who works with antennas and locations of towers,
Right.
the part where that can be replaced is the need to enter data from the tower into the document. That
Mm.
can be replaced via an AI and image analysis.
Yep.
But to understand what that data says and to understand which wire to be where,
Mm.
that still a human should only be able to do.
Yes. I agree. I guess the problem that a lot of people have is also the same, right? That AI can get into the decision making positions like a war
Mhm.
and what to fire, where to fire, or who to fire it at. There are people out there trying to put AI in positions like that. And that is
Mm,
also a concern that they are raising. And that is probably a big contributing factor to the fear behind AI, which is completely justified. If a robot is sitting and making the decisions and human lives are at stake, then of course it's scary, right? You cannot
mm,
undermine that. And we don't know the decision making process of the AI. The
mm,
AI that we're talking about, the chat bots, the conversational bots, are a black box right now. They are
mm,
training on massive amounts of data that's available on the internet. But the exact algorithm, I don't think it is under human control completely.
mm,
The AI does have a certain amount of autonomy in training its own agents, which is like small parts of it. It gives off to be like, okay, this sub part of me go and learn all the history of the world. And
mm,
this sub part of me go and learn all that is there to see in art and everything. So it's all, it has a certain level of autonomy, which is the scary part, right? Because we don't
mm.
know if AI is making a decision, what was its thought process that it took, that made it arrive at the decision. And that's what makes it scary, because can we control that thought pattern? And we don't know.
I would like to stand in a place as one of the evil ones, as an AI developer, and
Yeah.
say that we do know
You don't
how
know.
it comes to a certain conclusion, but very
Okay.
few people know that. It's like a very niche
Yeah.
job
Hmm.
where people who are using it, who are training the model, or who are placing it in the positions that we are, who are trying to ensure that it is having all the
Hmm.
right guardrails and everything, those
Uh-huh.
people do know how certain decisions are being taken or how the algorithm itself works. So I've recently gone to this AI conference where
Uh-huh.
it was all women in AI. The room was like 50 people or something. And
Uh-huh.
telling you, that room made me feel the kind of peace that I don't feel anywhere else. Like I could sense the fact that I didn't have to explain people things like, "Sir, I am not trying to take a job. I am not
Uh-huh.
trying to replace you. Can you?" That is not what AI does. AI is not trying to kill you. And I didn't have to do any of this. And everybody there were talking about how can we be better and everything. But you know what is more wonderful about this for me is the
Hmm.
fact that not nobody had the same job as I did.
Right.
Nobody was an AI developer.
Hmm.
Everybody were different roles with AI in front of it. You know,
Okay.
AI engineers or AI project managers or product managers or solution architects. I think we somewhere in this line of fear, we didn't realize the number of new jobs that AI created also.
Hmm.
Data scientists were transformed into AI scientists
Okay.
because it is literally the same field. It is all the same libraries. It is all the same coding knowledge. It just got a very new name. Because
Hmm.
automation is not new for humanity, right? Wheel is not new for us. I mean, none of us really batted our eyes when we went from having just one computer across the lane to
Hmm.
having seven computers with different names like phones, iPads, laptops, TVs in one house. We all were very comfortable getting that. Then didn't you feel like you were losing a job there?
What job was lost there, really, with the increase of devices?
Your banking became digital. You didn't have to go bank to banks anymore. Right now, there are no more passbooks. I
Yeah.
remember times when we stood in lines just to get the passbook stamped. How come you're comfortable with all of this, but you're against automation when all of this is automation?
No, I think whenever there is a shift, there is friction.
Mm,
I don't think it happens extremely smoothly in any shift that impacts your life a lot. So, as you said, when we went from passbooks to internet banking, it was a big shift. And I remember that a lot of people, especially people of our parents' generation or people older than that, had a very hard time getting into that. And I think for them, the physical in person services are still available. But moving from passbooks to internet banking didn't really take away any jobs, did it? People were just
It
not
did,
going to the
no.
bank.
There used to be 20, 30 tellers. Right now we have two.
I see.
But the
Okay.
tellers have changed into owning the bank account, supervising bank accounts online.
Mm,
That it's not that they have lost the job. So that's what I'm trying to
mm,
say. It's not like the
mhm.
job called teller is gone. It's
Right.
not like the job called coder will be gone. It's just that
Yeah.
the coder will become a different person.
I agree with that. My job has evolved quite a bit with AI tools coming into place because before AI, I had restrictions on what I could do and how long I could accomplish it in.
Mm-hmm.
And with the AI tools in place, I think it does make it very much quicker to ship code and to make products. So I think my job has evolved more from writing code to thinking approaches to write code. And so I tell the AI the approach that I'm looking at, and it'll follow that. And I review what it writes, and then we see how it can go into production. So my job has evolved. But I guess the fear that is associated with AI comes from a lot of companies doing layoffs, right?
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of companies are doing layoffs and saying things like junior engineers are not needed anymore. AI can do all of that.
I feel that is a bubble that the company lives in.
Maybe. Yeah. And they're investing heavily, right? They're investing billions of dollars into the AI companies so that they don't have to invest into junior engineers.
There was this one video of a guy trying to explain what it means by hiring more people.
Mm,
So let's say, for example, I need to make coffee.
mm,
I need to make coffee. I have one coffee machine and I have
mm,
10 people. So each
mm.
coffee takes 5 minutes to be made. And there are 10 people to make coffees for. So 5 into 10, 1 hour for everybody to have coffees.
Right.
Absolutely logical sense. Now, a manager or somebody who's owning the company
Mm,
comes in and says, maybe you just need one more person to do it with. How will that change anything? Coffee still takes 5 minutes and
mm,
it is still one machine, and there are two people who are trying to do the same job. It doesn't speed up the process, it'll still take 5 minutes. If I add one more AI bot with me also,
mm,
the process itself takes the same time. The entirety of the running part of the code will still take the same time. So that doesn't increase the productivity by far. You got to get more machines and more people. That is when you increase the speed. It's not that one machine, multiple people can't solve the problem. In the
mm.
same way, multiple AI standing with me to solve one singular problem. The pipeline will take the same time.
Right.
That is not changed. So, what I feel is lacking right now is the fact that people in the higher managements or people who sit at enterprise levels are not completely aware of what AI can do and what it can't do.
Yeah.
Because even though you have, like, let's say 18 years of experience, 19 years of experience, or anything, you have managerial experience, which is very important, not denying that. But you don't have AI development experience of that long because the
It's
concept
a
of
new
AI
thing.
itself came, yeah, 4 years
Yeah.
ago. And people who have done their courses, done their masters, or done their bachelors in that field have larger understanding of it by core than people sitting in power right now.
That's true.
And I feel that is the main reason for the layoffs because those layoffs caused some big issues in big companies under a year.
Yeah.
Companies' data centers crashed for like 5 days, 6 days, and
No, I
nobody
know.
noticed.
No, honestly, I think I heard someone say that now that there's a lot of AI code going on, we have to hire more developers because we have to review the code. If not,
Yeah.
it's not the other way. It's not less developers, more code. It is there is too much code being written, so then we need
Yes.
more people to review it and make sure that it won't break anything. Um, yeah.
I want to talk about the fact that right now, more
Mm,
than ever, we need people with clearer domain expertise. You need to be completely clear on your domain to be able to cut it out and identify which part is nonsense, which part is not.
of course, it hallucinates so much. Yes.
Yeah, it is not its fault. It gives you everything that is out there. So it depends on you at what is the cut of the crop that you want to save. You know, the
Mm.
10th grade physics has to be very strongly understood to ensure that AI is not giving me the wrong angle when I'm fixing a liver. You know?
No, I think the problem is that the education system is not evolving with the AI.
Mm,
Because the education system that both of us did our studies in, I don't think that's meant for a world in which AI bots are prevalent and can tell you anything
mm,
and can
mm,
write
mm,
essays for you.
mm,
If an AI can write essays for me, writing an essay should not be the task. It
mm,
should be
mm.
something more creative that tests me on a deeper level. The system needs to evolve with the technologies, and it's not. And that's why they're complaining that, oh my God, AI is doing so bad. But you are the one who's stuck. AI will keep evolving, it'll keep getting better. So, are you getting better?
Yeah, see, I think I told you about this. The teacher conference that I heard or I saw, that conference when they brought up AI and it being a problem for plagiarism and assignments being solved within a minute. Like
Mm,
right now, if I give a student an A plus B assignment, he'll just go to ChatGPT and write the answer. He'll not have
yeah.
to do A plus B himself. And then one teacher very clearly mentioned, then let's give them assignments that make them think rather than make them remember.
Mm,
I don't want to test the student at what they remember anymore because they don't have to remember this information. They don't need to know what happened in 1947 at that point in this area. They need to be able to think at what that meant and how that is processed. And that is the awareness that we have to bring into students. So maybe assignments should stop being about write me an essay about what William Shakespeare said in Julius Caesar, but rather write about what do you think Julius
mm.
Caesar was going through at that point, and if you were in Julius Caesar's position, what would your decisions be?
Right. So it should be more in the direction of processing what happened or what it is and forming an opinion on it. That's a good idea. Honestly, I wish I had that back in my day too. I wish my assignments were more of what do I think rather
Mm,
than do this, do X, do I, do Z. There million people have done it already.
mm,
And especially in the Indian education system,
mm.
it is very by rote. And I don't think it helped me in the long run. At least the SSC system that I grew up in was very how much can you memorize competition.
I think AI solves that problem. No, like you don't have to remember. You need to understand why certain decisions are taken the way they are and where you stand with these decisions. And I think those kind of questions make you realize the kind of person you are. You know, like are you an empathetic human being? Do you look at everything as a black and white solution? Where do you stand about certain political issues and why do you think
Mm,
those political issues matter? So these kind of things that actually affect the world, you're forced to think more in that idea than just remember what happened historically. And I don't think it'll replace, especially teachers, I don't think it'll ever replace. It can never replace
yeah,
certain fields. That is almost impossible. Like doctors can't be replaced.
yeah.
And farmers can't be replaced. There are certain fields that can't be replaced that need a human intervention always. The human
Mm,
in loop fact of it is what makes it perfect.
yes.
And I love that idea. Then why do I have to constantly explain this to people? That is very annoying. And it is also very annoying that I have to make them see, like evidently see, that you're already using automation. You're already
Hmm.
using things like Grammarly. You're already using things like Excels. You're already using things like your phone camera or the face
Yes.
recognition. You're already using this. And that has not taken over your job or your neighbor's job.
Yeah. I think people are focusing on the wrong things. Why is it extremely important that I spell things right?
Mm.
Because ChatGPT can correct all my spelling mistakes in an essay and give a perfect essay, although I don't know all the spellings. So why is it important to know spellings? I don't know. Or why is it important that I know how to write an email professionally? I don't know. If I can speak to people in person properly, I think that should be enough. If I suck at writing emails, that's fine. I know what to write in the email. I don't know how to write it. AI helps me with it. That's fine, right? Why is that a life skill that I'm being judged on that, oh my God, you use AI for writing emails?
Yeah. It's just, I feel like there is a hypocrisy here, major
Mm.
hypocrisy here. And I don't blame them for the hypocrisy itself, because I think in the last 1 year, 1.5 year, in the software industry at least, we have seen so many people lose their livelihood.
Yes.
And it happened overnight in many cases. That is the result of many things. First of all, the economy crashes, the
Mm.
number of wars that are happening out there non-stop all the time, and the food crisis that are happening, the political crisis that are happening, and also the illiteracy around AI.
I mean, people thinking AI is the superpower and
Mhm.
laying off humans to replace them with bots, right? Did you increase your productivity given the tool? Did you evolve with it? Or did you make use of it?
Tell me this: do you think it's possible to evolve at the speed that AI is developing?
Of course not. I'm a human being. I'm not a machine.
I mean, every day morning there is a new product project that has come out on this,
Yeah. Yeah.
that it is getting difficult to play catch up on.
Yeah.
So, at what point do you say, you know what, wait,
Hmm.
this is me. First, let me complete this. Let me understand this thoroughly. Let me
Hmm.
implement this and then see if I need something else.
Hmm. Honestly, I think when I was getting into the field of computer science, I knew I was signing for a life of catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I signed up for it. Before AI, there was the million different programming languages, and one kept coming every day. When I started my career, there was Java that was prevalent. And after Java, there was a big Python boom, and people use Python for all the automations and everything. And it was such a big thing. And then suddenly there was Go, there was Kotlin. Things just kept coming my way. And it doesn't mean that I can just sit and be like, no, I won't do this. I had to evolve.
But isn't that the fun of it also?
Yeah, I like doing that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Imagine if I still have to code on Linux forever.
Oh my God, no. No.
Till today, CLI gives me so much anxiety. Like, bro, just one space. That is one space. Why can't you just go around it? Why
I
is this
know.
terminal code such a pain?
I know. But again, yeah, so didn't people who were signing up for computer science as their career know that you're signing up for a life of catch up?
Yeah.
I think throughout my 4 years of BTech only, there were so many languages that came and went. And they're like, this is this technology that people are using out there. You should learn this. If I learn that, the next day people are like, no, actually, there's a new framework. But that's how it is. That's how it always was. It's just happening at an unprecedented speed right now.
Yeah.
That I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like, I think one of the major problems that I see with the fear that is triggering AI will take over our job
Hmm.
is the fact that people stopped looking at if it is needed and
Hmm.
started putting it everywhere, like everywhere. When I was in BTech, one of my professors, while we were doing automation and embedded systems, very specifically said This knowledge that you have should help you identify which problem needs automation.
Mm.
Not every problem needs automation. So if a door can be fixed with a hinge, then you should fix it with a hinge, not with a sensor.
Right.
That is a very simple solution with a very simple fix, and that is a one-to-one map. I don't, and I strongly believe in the fact that when you can fix it with a screwdriver, don't use a power drill. It consumes more resources, it makes larger noise, and it makes a bigger hole.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's like those people that are justifying their job by making the problem over complex or bigger than
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I mean, no, it's more like they don't even have a problem to solve. First,
Creating problems.
yeah, get a problem, build a solution, then choose the tool to use for the solution.
Mm.
Right now, enterprises have decided on the tool. They have
Yeah.
decided which tool to use, and now they're finding problems where it can fit.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of these enterprises don't have a lot of problems. To be
Hmm.
honest, a lot of them have no idea what to do in the current product, at least that they are
Hmm.
building. I think they have peaked kinda in that technology where what more can you add to a shopping website? What will you make it do? Will you make it throw confetti out of the screen in your face or something? No, you can't do that.
Is it
So
needed? Is a question that's lost somewhere.
because this is where it actually gets complicated. We'll pick this up in the next episode.
I don't think we figured this out yet,
Not even a little bit.
but we tried, and hopefully, we ain't alone.
This is the Matilda mindset.
A space where we let ourselves be a little delusional.
If you've been thinking about this too, we'd love to hear it.
Well, we'll see you next time.